All right, so we're live. And today, welcome everybody to AE Talks, where I try to bring people whom are trying to leave an impact and trying to do things differently. And a person comes to mind who happens to be a very dear friend of mine. We've known each other for a very long period of time, too. And the best thing about it is that you can see the nitty gritty developments happening along the way. Hence, I'd like to start off with introducing who this person actually is. So, today on AE Talks, a person who is known to turn challenges into purpose, I'd say. Youssef Shalakamy started his journey in customer service, where he learned the art of communication and leadership and transformed those lessons into a movement for youth. He is the founder of the Be Different program, impacting students across schools and universities, teaching them how to believe in themselves, take action, and start out early in life. He's here to help the next generation build resilience, as he claims, speak with confidence, which I love, and choose growth over fear. So without any further ado, while he sips on his water, I would like to ask him, how are you doing, my friend? And thank you for coming.
Thank you for hosting me. Thank you for the invite, Abdurrahman. We've known each other now for how long? 20 years, something like that.
Right.
And the journey, as you always say, will still continue to grow and thrive. And how I am feeling, I think grateful. I'm grateful, um, happy uh, with uh, where I am now, but mostly grateful.
Amazing. I like how you used a completely different vocal variety here while expressing your emotion and grateful. Walk me through this word. What does grateful mean to you?
Means that I'm on a stage where I believe that whatever happens with will come with goodness. And no matter the current challenges that I go through, um, God is always with me. ربنا دايما معايا. And I think throughout the past years, I truly believed in this. But recently, I think I started to feel what does it really mean ربنا يكون معاك أو God to be with you. So I think that's why I'm grateful and happy that I finally can claim that I'm in a good mental stage for now. I'm gonna go crazy again very soon, 100%, as I've always been to. But I think that's what being grateful is for me.
Wow. I really like how you connected being grateful to connection with God or Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It's beautiful how you just distilled it into that relationship you have with God, which I believe a lot of youth today need to revisit, primarily as how it's not becoming the most cool thing to talk
Mhm.
about today, right? And everybody flocks to the self-help books that teach you how to wake up at 5 a.m. and how to do red
Yeah.
therapy, right? And how
Yeah.
to make sure you're on your A game all the time. But if you were to just stop for a moment and realize that that has all been ordained and written before in the Quran or in your religion, in your relationship with God generally, you would start looking at life from a completely different lens. And surprisingly,
100%.
you feel a lot more comfortable. So, seriously, thank you for bringing that up early on into our episode here. And this takes me to some of the questions that I really want to start knocking you down through so that I could start having an idea about what's driving Yusuf. And my question happens to be, what was the moment in your life? I know there are a lot, but if you were to join or if you were to tell me one moment, what was the moment in your life when you realized I have to do something different?
Hmm. I'm really happy that you asked this question because that reminds me of the best moment of my life, I would say so, for now. Um, so you know that I was diagnosed with a brain disease, that lived with me for almost 8 or 9 years while I was young. And then when I came back to Egypt in 2015, um, the level of brain disease, all the doctors said that it reached to a stage where it's not going to be curable and I'm going to live with it for my whole life, or I'm going to be paralyzed very soon because I've taken all the medications, nothing is working. It's been 8 to 9 years, there's no progress, and I still have the same disease. And there's one day where I went to a doctor with my mom, and then the doctor said, "Are you still taking your medications?" And I said, "No, I stopped it 6 months ago when they said it's not curable and I might be paralyzed." And he said, "Your CTP brain says something different." I was like, "What does it say?" And he said, "Yusuf, you're 100% cured now." I was like, "What?"
Wow.
6 months ago, I was told that that's not a curable thing and I'm going to be paralyzed soon. So I was just like waiting for my to be paralyzed. And I think that was the moment where everything has changed. I was, I don't know, 16, 17 years old. And out of a sudden, there's hope again. I didn't do what exactly that I would be doing. I did not tell myself, oh, that's the moment that you do something different. But 2 months later, a friend of mine told me, hey, why don't you start working in a call center and see how things would go? And here, where I realized that the moment of knowing that I got cured of this brain disease that lived with me for 8 to 9 years, when that friend told me, why don't you work in a call center? I was like, okay, that's the moment. I think something is different is going to happen. I didn't know what it is. I didn't plan it. I didn't even wish for it. Just to be very clear, because some people they tell you that we dreamed of this to happen. We imagined this to happen. But I did not dream of it. I did not plan for it. I just felt there's something different that's gonna happen. I don't know what it is. I don't know how it's gonna start. And I even didn't know back then what is customer service is. So I was like, hey, I'm not gonna be doing that thing in the metro station. He was like, what metro station? That's customer service. You're gonna speak with customers. I was like, what? Do people speak with customers? I was very stupid. I know that. But then when I did the interview and then I got accepted, I was like, all right. So the feeling of the thing that would be different is gonna happen now. All I need to do is I just need to do my job right. I need to focus on what I do. I need to make sure that I'm at least one of the best people that can do the job. I don't want to be the top. I don't know how, but let's see how it will go. So the moment was knowing that my brain disease got cured. Um, and then that person or that friend told me, let's try call center or customer service. And then doing an interview. And then I got accepted. So I was like, all right, these are the three transitions or the three moments that happened across 4 to 5 months that changed everything after that.
Wow. As much as I know you, it surprises me how the Swift was just by you knowing that you've been cured, and most
Mhm.
importantly as well, having that opportunity manifest itself. whereby you decided, okay, why not? What is there to lose? And I really want to further focus onto this field because I
Okay.
guess there's a lot of practical takeaways here where you did not resent or stop or gatekeep the opportunity. You said, okay, why not? Let's give it a shot. You were young. Just like I always say, you were penniless, young, and you've got nothing to lose. So why not
Yeah.
try it out? And I guess that's a very important call to action for everybody listening firsthand is exploration matters. Exploration matters because you never know what you never know, right? Yeah,
100%.
counterintuitive, but you never know what you never know.
Yeah.
And you have to know it by exploring and experimenting.
Mhm.
So how does experimentation fall in Yusuf's lifestyle? How often do you experiment to figure out that, hey, this is the thing that I want? Because what I know is that you are in the field till this very day. So that's a
Mhm.
very good amount of years put in the very same industry.
Mhm.
So can I say you were lucky to find the thing that you like doing? Or was it that you tried other things as well and said, no, actually customer service is for me?
I think I'm lucky. And what I would say, I'm lucky not because I stayed in this industry for how long. Now I think it's been 9 to 10 years, something like that. But I think I'm lucky because I tried lots of things. I
Uh-huh.
was so when I was in university, I was working in a corporate multinational company at the same time. I tried working in public sector. I tried working in startups. I tried freelancing. So I just like as you said, I was just like, I have nothing to lose. Let's give it a shot in everything. I'm not gonna
Mhm.
lose anything. I'm still young. I have no responsibilities. I don't know even who I want to be in few years. And but let's see what we can do. That of course helped me to take the decision to stay in the industry. It's not only because that's the thing that I like to do, but it's the thing that helps me do more things on the side, like the Be Different program, the training, the youth empowerment, and these stuff. Um,
Absolutely, Yusuf. In what way does it help you do other things that you like doing?
it might be like the job that can help me with flexible hours. It helps me gain more knowledge about Gen Z, Gen Alpha, because this is who currently uh, I work with. My team makes me understand more about the challenges, makes me somehow correlate between the gap between the education and what's really happening in the real world. I can see the real expectations. So when a new employee comes and he was expecting A and B and C, here I can see the gap in the education. So then I was like, okay, so let me fix that. Let's see what we can do about that. Let's do a program that can help youth build the right expectations.
Mhm.
And most importantly, build the right character, the right personality that would help them um, elevate their career. And because people get the misconception now about, all right, so I'm going to go, I'll work in a multinational, I'll work in a corporate, I'll work in whatever. 1 year, I'll be promoted. And then he stays in the same position for 3 to 4 years. That's not a failing. Career has changed. Before, people were taking the normal elevator of the career. I'll go, I'll work, in a year or two, I'll be promoted. Now, it's very normal after all the technological changes that we're facing, after all the AI impact that we're currently facing, is for anyone to stay in the same job for 3 to 4 years. But the real question is, what are you doing in these 3 to 4 years if you're in the same position? Are you developing your character? Are you developing your tactical skills? Are you able to be more adaptable to the changes that is currently happening with you? Because that's a skill. So you might stay in the same position for 3 to 4 or 5 years even, but then you get promoted on the fifth year, and then you get promoted on the sixth year. Why? Because you were building this. during your first 3 to 4 years at the same position that you, as a young person, found it boring. And here I don't blame them, of course. It's all about the expectations are being given to students, whether at school or university, are wrong. They focus more, I think, and here I don't want to to be misunderstood. Like I'm saying that the education have issues. Not at all, no. But I think the expectations needs to be more clear. And instead of letting students focus on learning technical skills, which is good, which is needed, 100%, they need to focus more into investing in their self-awareness, investing in their social intelligence, investing in their emotional intelligence, and most importantly, investing in their soft skills. I think this is what the current generation really needs, because when it comes to technical skills, that's easy to gain over time. You would gain it sooner or later with courses, with experimental failures, with whatever, with mentorship, with coaching, with anything. But when it comes to your character, this is what you really need to build. This is what you really need to invest in. Because when you invest in social intelligence, emotional intelligence, soft skills, you'll be able to communicate better. You'll be able to listen to understand, not listen to respond. You'll be able to show empathy with other people. You'll be more compassionate during tough situations. And this what's gonna really matter in your career. Who's that person that we want to promote? Who's that person that we want to invest in? And I've learned this, and that answers your question when it comes to how often do I go through experimenting stuff. Every day. I think I failed more than that I succeeded. Some people say, oh, Yusuf did great things while he was in university and after that. And he goes speaks in events and now he's almost to be a certified coach and he can deliver coaching, whether internationally or locally as well. But at the same time, no, I failed more than I succeeded. I can count how many times I succeeded. I can count my success, but I cannot count how many times I failed because I failed a lot. So I really don't know how many times was that. But that made me realize by the end what I'm telling you now, that for years I thought that I don't have gaps in these areas. And I applied for multiple internal promotions, even I applied for external jobs. And every time I was being rejected. While I had all the technical skills, I've built it in a very young age. I have all the network that I can utilize. But here's the answer. I lacked a lot of stuff in my personality. So I experiment things every day, 100%. I fail a lot. And that gave me the conclusion of investing in yourself, investing in your student, investing in your kid or your children and their character. This is what people need now. People don't need knowledge or information. ChatGPT is here. DeepSeek is here. Gemini is here. Everything is here. You have the knowledge, you have the information. People don't need this. People need guidance. People need a better support system, a mentor that can guide them in their field, a coach that can let them see things better so they can take the decision on their own for their own good and for them to be able to give back to the community. This is what people need now. They don't need knowledge and info. It's everywhere.
I really love the fact that you embody awareness. And I believe it's such a oversought skill, if I may put, because I remember back in the days where, the Cunning-Druger effect, right? Where
Yeah.
whenever it is that you know something, you feel like you're on top of the world, you have your A game on, that's the thing I want to do, and you're the smartest at it. And then little by little, you'd find yourself go across the line and you would drop so hard because that's the reality of the matter. That's where you start knowing that you don't know what you don't know. And then you start moving up the scale little by little, right? And when you started speaking about that, how many of the countless failure experiences that you had, but you can only count your successes, and you started applying, and I'm very thankful for your transparency to so many different jobs, whether they're external or internal. and you realize, and here's where the awareness is embodied, that you have issues when it comes to, or areas of development when it comes to your personality.
Mhm.
And I want to segue from this very point to, what do you think is one struggle the youth don't talk about, but you see every day? So, what's one thing the youth struggle, being a person who's an activist working with the youth day in, day out? What's one thing they struggle with, but nobody talks about?
Fear,
Okay.
fear. Um, I was actually hosted in an Egyptian TV channel a few days back, last week, sorry. And I was asked the same question. It's fear. They don't talk about their fears. They don't talk. They don't talk about their fears. They don't talk about their insecurities, not because they don't want to, because they are scared to. So they are scared to speak about fear.
Mm.
And I think that's the struggle, the obstacle that they face now.
And a person working in your line of work here, I would love to have you share with us, how do you combat that, or what do you do to help people bridge that fear into an area where they could explore?
I don't think that I'm doing my best at this part, but I try to. But I think it always starts with knowing your people. So if you're a leader, it's very important to know your team, not their names, not their outfit, not the title, not the salary. Know them. Know what they drink. What's their favorite coffee? What's their favorite color? What's their personality type, even? Who has a girlfriend? Who has a boyfriend? Who just got divorced? Who's currently having a crush on someone and he doesn't know what's going to happen next? These very small details, what makes the difference? Because it makes you understand the person. You're able to determine if this person is insecure more or insecure like everyone else, because we all have our own insecurities. Some of us can control it, but others they can't because they lack the awareness that they even fear. They lack the awareness that they even have insecurities. So knowing your people is very needed. And that game goes even for parents. The parents, they need to know their children, what they like, what they don't like, what they watch, not to judge them, but I want to understand my kid. I want to know, why did he scream or she screamed? Why do you don't want to talk to me? Always ask that question. Is there anything that I'm doing wrong? Here you're not lacking the parenting part or you're doubting yourself, but it's always important to ask yourself, did I do something wrong? So I was having a meeting with my team today. It was a very tough meeting. And after we finished the meeting, deep inside, I asked myself, did I do something wrong? And I found, yes, there were stuff that I needed to do and I didn't do it. So that's number one. So when you know your people and you ask yourself this question, when you know your kid and you ask yourself, did I do something wrong? You would be able to get the right answer. So number one is knowing your people or knowing your kid, knowing your student, knowing your coachee, knowing your trainee, whoever you're having a direct relationship with and what will impact him or her. It's very important to know this person on a personal level. Number two is, and that's even most important, is to develop yourself. And what I mean by developing yourself is not working on your weaknesses, capitalizing on your strength. Some people at work, they might come tell you, hey, that's your weakness. When you work on it, you'll get promoted. And guess what happens? You work on your weakness, you get promoted, three of the things will happen. Either you will get fired because you lack the job. Second, you would resign because you said that's not my thing. Third, you would continue to work in the same position for years and years and years, and you would be in a same loop that would cause you lots of depression and lots of issues in your life. Why? Because you did not capitalize on your strength. So what happens when you capitalize on your strength? You get to find what you love. You get to work what you're passionate about. And most importantly, you get to give back to the community. And
I love
eventually,
it.
that
Can you
would
give
help
me an
improve.
example? Can you give me an example of how can you capitalize on your strength? Something
All right.
practical people can look forward to.
So, as an example, for years, I knew that I'm always curious about anything. Like whenever I see something, I always ask, why did this happen? How was this created? So that was something in me. And then over time, when I worked in multinationals or corporates, I get to be assigned with tasks that made me capitalize on the curiosity part.
Mm.
So it made me do my job in a more creative way, made me lead my teams in a different way, made my teams operate differently. And previously, I had that weakness of that I always interrupted people while they were speaking. And this cannot happen because you're a manager and at the same time you're a coach. And the coach doesn't interrupt, the coach listens. So when I had that task that served my curiosity part and gave me the space to do more creative stuff, that made me feel better. Eventually, that feeling led to that I started to listen to people more because I feel okay, I'm good now. So that improved my weakness part in an indirect way. And that, of course, has helped me through doing like assessment. I think you know it called VS Strength Assessment. It gives you your 24 strength. It gives you your top five. Those are your top five. Capitalize on this. Focus on this. Take these five strengths. Hey, ChatGPT. Hey, DeepSec. Hey, Gemini. Those are my top five. And those are the 24. Please tell me what are the jobs that would help me capitalize on these top five strengths.
Amazing. Love it.
Hey, ChatGPT, those are my top five strengths. I currently have an issue with my family. Without going into details, how can I capitalize on this within my family? Hey, ChatGPT, my friends, they like to hang out in these places. And those are my top five strengths. Is it going to impact it negatively? Yes, thank you. Your friends, they are good friends. But the place doesn't serve who you are, doesn't help you capitalize on your strength or your values or your stuff. So knowing yourself, and that takes us back to the point of when you're working on your self-awareness, this is the first thing that you need to do. When you know what are your strengths, you'll be able to speak with ChatGPT better. You tell ChatGPT, hey, those are my strengths. What are the jobs that I can go for? What are the freelance projects that I can improve or work on? It would help you take better decisions. And eventually you'll be able to live a better life. And eventually over time, you will start to feel more grateful for what you have rather than what you wanted to have.
Wow. I love how practical this is, specifically when you related this to AI in a way where you get to do your test, you get to know what your strengths are, you pick your top five, or the top five are picked for you based on the questionnaire or the survey. And then you would funnel this or feed this into a language model, call it Gemini, a whatever, ChatGPT,
Yeah.
DeepSeek, you call it, and then you would see the results based on if you're looking for a role, looking for a partner, looking for whatever it is, because you're capitalizing
Hmm.
on your strength. I really like how you're focusing on the strengths area and not the weaknesses area.
Yeah.
Do you think that would take you a lot farther than the weaknesses, do you?
100%.
Wow, that's great. That's great. I love it. Youssef, tell me more. Why did you create Be Different? Was it born out of inspiration or frustration?
PlayStation. I'm joking. That's a bad joke. I would say it was born out uh, from frustration.
How so?
Yeah. So last year, I went through throughout the past 2 years, I went through a major setbacks in my life, a major three setbacks. And I didn't know if I'm going to be able to continue even in what I do, in what I wanted to do. And I struggled for a bit, I would say so. But just to answer the question right away, not to take more time, I would say those three setbacks for a moment reminded me that I still love what I do. And what I do is not my job. What I do is making people lives better. This is what I love to do. And I might like my job sometimes, and sometimes I hate it, and that's completely fine. That's part of the journey. Not every day is a good day. But making people's life better always been different to me. So I was like, all right, you have gained a quite decent experience in a very young age. You did a very good network pool in a young age. You did everything in university that everyone wished for. So what are you doing with these things? What are you doing with these knowledge? What are you doing with the network that you built? Why didn't you give back to the community? You were lost, but eventually you found your way back through science, through coaching, through reading, through mentorship, through enrolling in courses, through self learning, and you found your way back. And there might be people who are wiser than you, smarter than you, better than you, but they don't know what they're going to do because all they need is guidance. All right, so go enroll in a coaching course and then go enroll in a personal branding course and then go enroll in a TOT training course. Now you have the science, the knowledge, the accreditation that can help you do the program. Put your knowledge into slides and start small. Take small steps. Take the science that you learned, the knowledge that you gained, and use your personal branding, connecting the dots backwards, as Steve Jobs said. Contact your old network. Hey, this is what I'm thinking. What do you think? They give you ideas. And this is where Be Different been born from and why was it done? It was born from frustration and was born from frustration to lead a better generation, I would say. This is how I see Be Different.
That's quite interesting how setbacks made you realize what is it that you love, or further capitalized or reassured you in a
Yeah.
way that this is what you actually love doing. And this is not what really took my attention. What really grabbed my attention was how you realize that you have certain weak points and you wanted to learn more about or develop further in, because this very skill set is so important. And I can easily tell you how many youth are facing deficiencies in. They would get the idea, they would automatically start thinking of streamlining it without researching, without doubling down on the knowledge aspect, and just go on that motivation pill for a month or two, and then it wheels out, right? And we've seen that numerous times. But what you did was you enrolled yourself in several courses, you got yourself different lenses, I would say, of knowledge, of experience, so that you can see what does personal branding look like, or what does the TOT or the training of the trainers look like. And you got yourself into this, especially with the coaching as well. Only then you decided to say, okay, let me connect the dots backwards, just like you say. That is amazing because now I understand how a setback could turn into a frustration, but also turn into an inspiration later on so that you could play PlayStation later on in your free time.
I've always been so bad at PlayStation.
I
I've
liked it.
always lost
You liked it.
all the games till now. So that's something that I need to work on.
All right. Capitalize on your strengths, remember? Don't
Yeah.
capitalize on the weaknesses. All right. Okay, so can you remember a moment where you doubted yourself, but pushed through anyway?
All right. The truth,
Yeah, please.
I doubt myself every day. And I'm not gonna lie. Every day. I think that, and I know that's huge to be said, but I doubt myself every day. And I think that's normal, maybe for me, might be crazy for someone else, but I think it's all about how you deal with this doubt. And for how long do you doubt yourself? Like, do you doubt yourself for 10 hours? Or are you just like doubt yourself for seconds and minutes and then you tell yourself, no, take paper and pen and write this doubt and throw it in the garbage? Or take a paper and pen and see where the doubt is coming from. Or take a paper and pen and journalize how yesterday was, how today is, and how tomorrow is going to look like. So, doubting myself happens every day, but it depends on how you react to it.
Hmm. Doubting yourself on a daily basis. That must be quite frustrating.
um, Intentionally frustrating. I
Where
don't
do you
think.
think these doubts come from? This is a very interesting area I want to explore with you.
Where is it coming from? Mm, I think from the expectations that I put to myself. That's one. Second, it comes from that I want my brothers, my sister to be proud of their brother. So I always think, what I'm doing now, is it gonna make my sister feel proud? What I'm doing now, is it gonna inspire my two young brothers in what they do in life? And number three, and that's very important to me, if my father and my mother, they're gonna like what I do. And here I'm gonna stop for a second because many people, many young people, they always think about what their family would think of what they would do. I remember in your last episode, if I'm a good fan and if I'm a good watcher, when you were speaking with Hams and you speak about the culture and the tradition of the Middle Easterns, and and for the girl to live abroad alone or to travel, or we all face these challenges. So it is okay to think of what your dad and mom would think of what you would do, but don't let this overtake you or overtake your idea or make you doubt yourself. You do what you have to do. And I'm sorry I'm gonna say this, but do what you have to do, even if your parents don't like it. As long as what you're gonna do is not gonna impact others negatively, not gonna impact you negatively, not gonna serve a bad purpose, do it. Your dad might not like this now. Your mom might not like this now. But the result that you will do out of what you did and the lives of others that you would change and the better quality of life that you would live, your parents over time would be proud of who you have become. You know me now for 20 years. When I started to, and I'm saying this based on personal experience, I might be wrong because that's my personal perspective. That's not based on science. That's based on how you see things. And when I started to work when I was 17 or 18, I used to sleep in the company I used to work for days and weeks. My dad, he was thinking that I'm in a nightclub dancing with some girls, all the beers around me, and I'm just enjoying my life. And I was just sleeping on the bench in the company. And he always used to call me, "You're not working." And he screams, "Hey, you have exam," because I was still in university, but I still believed in what I did. Now my dad is very proud of me. My relationship with him got even better over time. He can see the impact that I'm making. And when I was like, "Hey, dad, I'm going to be on TV by 5 p.m." And I was like, "What?" "Hey, dad, I'm going to be working with this minister." And he was like, "What minister?" I was like, "One of the ministers of Egypt." And he was like, "You?" I was like, "Yeah, me." And then when he saw the pictures, he saw me on the newspaper, he was like, "All right." He was not in a nightclub with girls and beers. He was working on himself, improving himself. And I remember that's even for whatever the industry is, some celebrities, they said the same thing and it happened with them. Some CEOs, the same thing. Tony Robbins, his mom wanted him to do something else, but he pursued what he loved. And then she got proud of him and he said that. So it's all about do it with a belief, as long as that's not impacting others negatively, do it. Don't
Youssef,
think about
I'm all for doing it. Like, you know me by now. I'm all for taking the risk. I'm all for
mm,
experimenting, exploring things out,
yeah.
especially at a very young age where you literally have nothing to lose. But I'm going to stop you here for a second because I want to go off on a tangent and I want to put on a
Mm,
different hat. I do not want to be a host now. What I want to be is I want to be a father
mm,
and talk to you from that perspective because I believe that's what truly is going to resonate with a lot more people. You would have Gen Z right now, and soon
mhm,
out Gen Alpha, if you may,
mhm,
go to their parents and, "Hey, parents," or "Hey, dad," or "Hey, mom, this is what I'm going to be doing. And I
mm,
guess this is what I'm born to pursue." The parents care for their children. No doubt. No doubt. They love their children. They want the best for them. We all know that, right? And these are not cheesy statements. These are true realities, but your love language may differ from a parent to a child and back. But I want to ask you a question though.
mhm.
Where do you draw the line between parents' wisdom, experience, thoughts, advice, mentorship, and what the kid sees for themselves so that we could build a healthy relationship? So back in the days, you had a unstable, if I may say, relationship with your parents or with your father specifically. Yes, it grew better over time. I'm gonna say you
Got
were
even crazier, bro.
I'm gonna say you were lucky, and I cannot base your luck on a general rule or a general equation for everybody else. Because we do see a lot of kids think that what they're doing is going to be not negatively impacting people, but it may be negatively impacting themselves. So
Mhm.
where do you draw the line, Yusuf? How would
Mm.
you answer that?
You're right. I got lucky, and I always say that I'm lucky. 100%, 100%. I'm always lucky. that part. But I would say how we draw the line is this is why I created Be Different. We draw
Mm.
it through schools. We do it through youth clubs or sporting clubs or even universities. And we invite parents so they can experiment with their children, with their kid, the workshops that they do to do like a quick, uh, what I would say, a parent and a kid role play on something that you really want to pursue. Bring the experts, bring everyone together in the same area. Because, as you said, I was lucky. Others might not be lucky. Others might hurt themselves, or the other way around. That's why it was very important. As I told you, one of the steps that makes you help people better, as I told you, the second step was to develop yourself. That's why it's very important that I needed to take the coaching course,
Uh-huh.
the personal branding course, the TOT course, in order I can understand the difference between the age groups. And then when I work with parents and I work with their kids, the main aim for me is the relationship. If it's good, let's be better. If it's better, let's push it to excellent. If it's bad, this is what we need to work on now. And let the kid experiment coaching because they're very smart. And we all know this that some people, their whole life gets built based on their first 7 years or the first 15. The first 15 are the most important parts. So when you experiment coaching with a kid and ask them, hey, why do you want to be an influencer in TikTok? And their parent is there because I want to make money. And why do you want to make money? Because I want a car. And why do you want a car? Because I want a girlfriend. And why do you want a girlfriend? Because my friend has a one. These answers are the solution for the parent. So the parent, while he's watching this, he's now, oh, my kid have a self-confidence issue. Is it because of what I did last week? And now these kids are lucky because nowadays parents are more educated than before. So the parents now would ask the question, is it because I punished him last week? Is it because I punished her last week? Is it because I shouted out in front of their friend? So now he wants a girlfriend to be better than this person. So I need to spend more time with my kid. So how it should be done, I think it's that way.
Mm. So can I say that Be Different, the initiative that you've built is primarily revolving around fighting the root cause or finding the root cause problem in the relationship between parents and children through coaching. Am I correct here?
That's one of the pillars, 100%. But the main aim for it is, as you said, to let people identify the root cause of the current challenge that they go through and to let people be more self aware so they can pursue the other pillars of the program, whether personal branding, whether coaching, whether other stuff that would help them over time find what they are different at and proceed and pursue it in a young age instead of wasting 10 to 15 years of their life and then knowing what they love later on. So it helped them identify the root cause for the current challenges that they are going through now and know themselves. So as I told you, self-awareness is very, very important. And eventually, this self-awareness would help them over time to experiment more of experiments that would make them know what they are different at and what they are good at.
Mm.
So it's very important now that people invest in what they really aim to achieve. And
Mm.
y- if anyone told anyone, hey, do this equation and you would be able to achieve your dream, even if this person knows the dream. For me, that's wrong. I cannot tell Abdurrahman right now, Abdurrahman, hey, uh, do this and you'll be able to be the best podcaster in the world. The reason I cannot do that, it's not because that Abdurrahman is a bad podcaster or Yusuf is. It's because he's Abdurrahman, I'm Yusuf. He lives in a country, I live in a different country. His dad name is different than Yusuf's dad name. How we were raised are different. Education can be somehow similar in a way and another, but still, in education, you were way better than me. I was always failing. My scores were too low. Again, you cannot advise a person what to do because they live in a different circumstances. No matter how you believe the circumstances can be similar, it's never similar. That's
Mm.
impossibly to happen. It's different. It's always different. Their gender is different. Their name is different. How they were raised, they're different. Even if they both live in the same country, they have different friends. Never advise a person what to
Joe,
do.
this is a very, very good point, man. Like I can't I'm sorry, I have to stop you here. Comparison. To me, I grew realizing that comparison is the death of joy.
100%.
I want to ask you, my friend, as you're a person who works quite frequently with the youth today, with people in your corporate environment, I know you hold a managerial role at Amazon today too. How do you deal with comparison? Because it is truly bringing about so much unnecessary stressors into one's life. And how do you combat that? Comparison, very, very important topic. I really want to get your piece of advice in.
Very honestly, I don't know how people can deal with it.
Right.
I don't know that. What I know is, do I face comparison? Of course, 100%. Every day, every day. I can be compared with my peers. I can compare myself with my peers. My manager doesn't need to do this. I can do it on my own. And that's even way worse when you compare yourself to other people. Um, I can compare myself if this girl likes me or not. I can compare myself if my dad loves me more than my brother. This happen. This always happens. But dealing with it better, we would go back again to the point of the more self-aware you are, the better self-managed you are. It's simply the first two competencies of emotional intelligence: self awareness, self management. I know now that I compared myself to Abdurrahman. Is his podcast is better or mine? Why did I ask this question? I asked this question because I want to do a better season next time. That's an objective comparison.
Uh-huh.
So Abdurrahman gave me the idea of how can I improve my next season. Or, and that's an objectively one, constructive one. When I say Abdurrahman did a better broadcast, is he doing a better one or not? And I ask myself, why did you ask this question? Because now the girl that I like, she might like him, not me. That's a negative comparison.
Mm.
But when you build the comparison based on objective goal, I want to improve, so I'm gonna ask myself that question, of course. Like as an example, for people that watch football, did Muhammad Salah compared himself with Cristiano Ronaldo? Of course he did.
Mm.
Why Cristiano is the best? That's comparison. And then the answers were He eats well, he sleeps well, he trains these number of hours a day, he's not late to trainings, he always comes the first one, and he leaves the last. Let me do the same habits. So he became Mo Salah. Same applies for J.K. Rowling. She got rejected out of 12 publishers, but she had the same question. But here is the worst type of comparison that you can do, comparing yourself with yourself. That's even way worse. And that comes from why everyone is rejecting me. Am I not good enough like I used to be before or who I want to be? No, they got rejected me because there's something that I need to improve. Maybe it's the resilience, maybe it's the writing, maybe it's the how the books looks. I don't know. I hope I can meet J.K. Rowling one day so I can have the answer. But eventually, she managed to publish Harry Potter. Until now, we still watch it as if it's the first time. So for me, the best ways dealing with comparison is asking why. After you know the why, you'll be able to know, with your self awareness, of course, you'll be able to know if that's an objective one or a comparison that over time would kill me from the inside.
That was quite powerful. And let me tell you why. Because when I started off the topic regarding comparison, I automatically took to the quote saying, comparison is the death of joy. And you agreed 100%. So I personally thought you're going to be on a completely different camp. But then I somehow, some way sensed that you're on the other camp where some comparison can actually be healthy. And I love how you brought about the example of Mohamed Salah or Cristiano Ronaldo. And these people, of course, they can look into their peers and they can see what's going on. And then you wrapped it up by saying, why can or why do I ask these questions to myself, right? So comparison, a little bit of it can be healthy. A lot of it can be detrimental. One more time. Where do you draw the line?
In comparison,
Yeah, like between the healthy, constructive one and the unhealthy, destructive one, detrimental one.
I think, again, it's not an advice because it might not work with people, but it can work with me sometimes. I think with self reflection and self comparison. Again, when you compare yourself with yesterday and today, what did I do yesterday? Did I do my best? No, I did not. Why? List it down. Work on these areas. Did I do good yesterday? Yes. Then it was just a bad day. I'm just going to be focusing on myself. So when you focus on yourself and you do this self reflection and you increase the level of awareness of now I know where did I screw up. I know where did I do good at. I know who's better than me that I can go and learn from. You can draw the line with self reflection because when you know why did you screw up, when you know why you did your best, the second day you'll be able to choose the person that would help you to do better than yesterday or to choose the course. It doesn't need to be a person, or to choose the company to work for, or to take the decision of quitting your 9 to 5 job. And what's really interesting, yesterday I attended an event called She Can AI, and there was a panel, a beautiful panel called Quitting Your 9 to 5 Job. And all the panelists, all of them, they had only one thing in common. In order the person can do this is self-reflection and awareness. The more self-aware you are, the better decisions you'll be able to take. The more risks calculated ones that you can take. Why do I want to open a startup? Because I want to have money. Everyone that said that, and with numbers, they all failed. And all the best CEOs in the world and all the founders, they said the same thing. Steve Jobs was interviewed in 1987 and they asked him this question. And he said, if anyone said that I want to open a company or I want to have my startup to have money, they're going to fail. They need to do something that they truly love about. Again, so the baseline or how to draw a line is self-reflection. And what do you do on daily basis? This can happen through journaling, can happen through even content creation. When you post your thoughts into Facebook or LinkedIn or Instagram in a positive way, you're posting this for others not to go through the same shit that you went through. You're posting it for others not to go through the same challenges that you went through. Number 3, this will make you, of course, self-reflect. And number 3, reading. Whether paper reading, e-reading, whatever, audio reading, whatever the type of reading is, just read. Number 3, and the most important thing that would make you draw the line, the circle that you surround yourself with, the support system. Who are you surrounded with? Surround yourself with the best people. They would make you think better. They would make you do better. And they would make you love yourself. That's why choosing a friend now, you don't need to be surrounded by people that you love. The people that makes you love yourself better, those are the people to be surrounded with. When you sit with them, they make you love yourself more. You don't like the outing or the group. Every time you hang out with these people, you're more confident, you're more charismatic, you're more smart, you're even wiser, and you're even vocal self-critical. When you do a mistake, you need to be vocal about it. I did that mistake. I take accountable for it. I'm responsible for it, and I'll fix it. I think those are the 5 things that would make me draw the line.
Wow. Youssef, thank you. I loved it. It's like I was like attending a TED Talk now.
Not better than yours, of course.
I'm so happy to hear that coming from you. Seriously. You've come a long way, my friend. You've come a long way. Youssef, finish the sentence. Success in your 20s is not about
money.
Wow. Okay. Interesting.
It's not about money.
Success in your 20s is all about
failing.
Ooh, that's quite counterintuitive. So success in your 20s is all about failing and how many times you fail. I love that. For everyone hearing us, failure must be embraced, You are going to fail whether you like it or not. It's how quick you get up. It's how fast you do things. It's how much you fail. Volume matters, right? I love how it's coming from a person like Youssef because I've lived through so many different episodes of his life. And God knows how many times I asked myself, if I was in his shoe, if I were in his shoe, what would I have done? And sometimes I believe it requires a lot more strong mental fortitude that I personally don't think I have as much as he does. And I think the main reason he does is because he's been through a lot. Not to say that other people who do not go through a lot, maybe you go through one very simple scenario or one very simple situation that shakes you upside down. But once again, volume matters in how you or in what shapes you generally. I love this. Okay. If you can tell a fresh graduate right off university one sentence, what would you tell them?
One sentence for a fresh graduate: listen to understand, not to respond.
Mm, love it. I love the empathy behind the message here. I love it. Complete your core message, Youssef, for the audience. You don't need to be great to start. Continue.
Just start, and eventually you'll be great.
Right. I love that, by the way. It's an amazing slogan where you don't need to be start. You don't need to, you need to start, of course. You don't need to be great to start. Right. But just do it. Just do it. Cause like, once again, you'll never be 100% prepared. You never have all the money, all the networks, all the fame, all the
Never.
blah, 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 blah. Never. It just doesn't happen. Um, what's one sentence you would tell parents today?
Let your kids take risks and watch them.
Right. Watch them,
Yes. Let them take the risk
not
and watch them.
control them.
No,
Right.
you can't. Anyone would
Well, I
control
like that.
anyone. No.
You can't control them even if you want to.
Exactly, you can't. You can't. You can't control even your employees now. Back the days, back a few years back, managers can control their employees. Nowadays, you can't. That
Mm,
generation is different. The world is different. The world is more free. And what I mean by free is doesn't mean peace. Free when it comes to decision making. People are always asking why. People always asking how. So what you need to do, educate yourself. So you can have the answers for the why and the how.
mm,
While watching, you'll be able to know when to jump and how.
right. Yusuf, once again, I want to bank on your experience working with Gen Z specifically, because I'm quite sure there is going to be a quite fair portion of our population or
Mhm.
of our audience from Gen Z. What's one thing you would tell Gen Z, or what's one thing that you found in Gen Z that impresses you, and one thing that worries you?
What worries me is me with Gen Z.
Oh, how so?
Because I think I went through challenges, understanding Gen Z and knowing. I think I'm from Gen Z, but I'm from like between, like I'm
Yeah. I'm just
1997 and
1996, right? Yeah,
exactly the
1987.
1997. But how they think they operate, the freedom that they want, you need to have all the answers for everything. Um, so I always get worried about dealing in the right way, which is fine. I mess up sometimes. Sometimes I do great. I'll work it out. And what I want to tell Gen Z, or what impresses me the most, and Gen Z and Alpha, they're too smart. They're too smart. Very smart, very creative, very curious, and they might not have the answer, but they're always gonna find it if they wanted to. So they
Mm,
have a better willingness than me and everyone from our generation. And what I want to tell Gen Z is that would be based on a challenge that I go through, maybe. Uh, I think I would tell any generation that is older than Gen Z. I'm not gonna speak to Gen Z. I'll speak to the oldest generation. Let
so the millennials, the baby boomers,
Yeah,
the right. Okay.
understand that this is their time now. Understand that's their moments to live. Educate yourself on how to deal with them. It's not doesn't mean that you're not educated. Of course not. You're better than us when it comes to education. But let them experiment. Let them test. Let them fail. Let them fall down. Let them have their setbacks. Listen to them. Listen to them, not to push them to do something. Listen to guide. You have the experience more. You have more knowledge. Most importantly, you have the experience because you failed a lot. But all they need is guidance. They need love. They need glasses to wear to see better. They don't need parenting. They need a friend. They don't need a close friend. They need someone not to judge them. People now tend to speak with ChatGPT about their boyfriend, their girlfriend, their sex life, their marriage life. Girls ask ChatGPT, "Hey, I'm gonna wear this dress. What do you think?" What do you think this came from, Abdurrahman? Because of judgment. People are being judged about everything that they do. Imagine with me if we live in a world judgment free. That's impossible. But let's imagine, why would I go to ChatGPT ask him about my outfit or my sex life? But I cannot go to my dad and my mom, whether I'm a guy or a girl, and to speak about my sex life. I can't do that. I can't speak about a girl that I like. As- Not Ka Youssef, but in general. People speak with AI, and God only knows these information, how it's going to be used in the next 15 or 20 or 30 years. No one knows where the bomb is going to come from and how the world is going to look like. So I'm always saying, if there's one thing that I wish that I would live 40 or 50 years again, because I want to see how it's going to look. I don't see it's going to be good, but it will be good if we help the current generation to have the right guidance, to know how
Mm.
to use the tools, how to use ChatGPT, how to use AI, how to use Alexa, how to use robots, how to use these stuff in the way that would serve them practically. People intend to let AI to serve them emotionally. So this is what I would say to the other generations.
Right. Wow. I mean, couldn't agree more personally about how AI and codependence is becoming way off the trajectory of anything of being healthy. And I actually had a guest um, who's a senior manager at a French enterprise in Dubai have had him speak about the codependency, and it's crazy how a lot of people are resorting there. But what I really like about your answer is that you somehow did a be different kind of a thing, which was you spoke about the root, which happens to be judgment. Simply put, why do you think we resort there? Judgment, because of how you're going to think of me and because of what's going to happen on. And I guess people, even if they were to think that their pieces of information or their privacy were to be shared sometime down the line in the next 15 years, I don't think they would care because they're like, fine, but I'll still live 15 years judgment free. I'll take that every day, right?
100%.
100%. Wow. Whew. Yusuf, I have a question
Hmm.
I want to ask you.
Yeah.
As a person whom I call a third culture kid, where you were born in Saudi Arabia, if I'm not mistaken,
Yeah.
right? And then you lived a fair portion of your life in KSA,
Hmm.
and then you moved on to Dubai
Hmm.
for a period of time,
Yes.
and then you moved to Egypt,
Yes.
right? So you were a person of like you were put in a blender and then you were shaking all up and then
Mhm.
Yusuf came out kind of a thing. You've been in Egypt right now for how many years? 10, 12,
Mm.
15,
10 years. 10 years.
10
Almost
years.
10 years. Yeah.
I want to ask you a question because that's the question I ask all third cultural kids I know personally.
Hmm.
Have you ever thought of leaving? And why are you staying till this very day? What's your purpose?
Have I thought about leaving? No. Have I thought about
Wow.
traveling for a few years and coming back again? Yes. Leaving? No. Impossible. Never gonna happen. Never, ever, 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 never, ever. As I don't know how they say it,
Wait, I
but
want I
it's
want to get
never.
that. I want to understand that. Where's that coming from? Why?
I'm never leaving Egypt, despite that's the most craziest thing to hear because many people they say unfortunately they want to leave Egypt, and it's because I have a purpose here, bro. That's a country with 120 million population. 63 million are young. 63 million are youth. Can you imagine the development that you can do? From how I see it, it's my perspective. If some people say that Egypt don't improve, I'm sorry, that's wrong. We are. And even if we're not improving in the best way and we have issues and stuff, and that's fine, we have issues. Yes, we have issues. My thing is because each one is focusing on the other person's plate. As they say بالمصري كل واحد بيبص في طبق غيره. They don't focus on their own plate. Just focus in your job. Do you complain about the government? Hey, if tomorrow you got to be the president, what exactly are you gonna do? You're gonna scream. You don't know exactly everything. No one knows everything. It's the same. You judge your manager, and then hey, you got promoted. You're in your manager position, and they say, and then you say, "Why? What? Did my manager face all of this?" And I was judging him. Bro, don't focus on government. Don't focus on stuff. Focus on yourself. And then, if you want to change the government, all right, go study political science. If you want to change the government, go study something that would make you in the government in a few years. If you want to change something, that's yours. I cannot judge Mo Salah if he's playing good or not. I'm not a football player. I'm not an athlete. I can't. So again, back to the point. I'll give you an example. I know you love countries in Asia. Malaysia, as an example. You've been there, right?
Yep.
And Malaysia is one of the best worldwide countries in education, in environmental engineering, in tourism, in a lot of areas. It's one of the top, right? All right. But let's take a few years back. What did Malaysia do to reach where they are now? Do you know what they did? They did something called Al-Qadr Saghar, of the young leaders. They invested in 3% of the youth population of Malaysia, and they built new leaders. I think it was done by Muhammad Haidar. I don't know his name, but he was the prime minister of Malaysia. He just invested in 3 to 4% of the youth population. They changed it,
And
and
then
that
to look
happened in
at
many
had a
countries.
minister who's 26 years old. Yep.
No, just investing in 3 to 4% in the
Saeed
right
Sadiq.
people.
Know him personally.
Hmm.
Saeed Sadiq, he was the minister of was it sports, if I'm not mistaken? But yeah,
Yeah.
that was the first. He was the youngest minister ever. Yeah.
So they invested. So when I live in a country that have 63 million, like almost 53 to 54% of the country's population young people, don't you see an investment opportunity here? You can be one of the game changers. And it cannot happen. Like you don't know what will happen tomorrow. In addition to around my family, that's something no one would really know how important it is as long as they lived abroad. If you were born abroad, if you lived your whole life abroad, and then you came back to your country, your home, your origin, you will understand that. And
Youssef, you said a beautiful word here regarding game changer and marking it with 63 million youths in Egypt
mm,
at the moment. I personally never knew the statistics, but I'm thankful that you shared it with us. What are you doing to become a game changer in this field that's giving you that so much purpose, which I absolutely love?
trying to do my job the best way that I can. Not every day is a good day. I try to invest in people. I don't always invest in everyone. but I try to do this. I try to learn from my mistakes. Um, I try to reach schools, universities where I can deliver this program to more areas. I try to invest my personal branding so more people can know me and can know exactly what I'm doing. Because it doesn't need to be Youssef who invested in the 3%, but it might be a graduate from a bit different program who did it or who will do it.
Mm.
So what I'm trying to do is to invest in people with everything. And that back to the point, success in my 20s is not about money. It's about failing. And there's someone you would meet. Either this person would help you to be the game changer, or a person that you would meet and you teach them something, and they might be the game changer.
Mm.
You don't know, but it's gonna
Yusuf,
happen.
what are the challenges that you're facing right now regarding
I think
or help
first,
that are stopping you from becoming that one of those game changers?
I think the expansion, um, being known, more known by people. Uh, but I think these are the normal challenges that anyone would say. If you're asking about the real challenge, I think it's me. If we're speaking from the heart and we want this episode to be an open book, it's 100% me, bro. Nothing else. It's me.
So, like, when you say me here, what do you mean?
Me as my thoughts, my actions, my habits. Do I really invest 24 hours or do I invest like 20 hours plus on this? No, I don't. So I should not expect to be a game changer like anyone else. As an example, Elon Musk, Steve Jobs, Jeff Bezos, Mark Zuckerberg. These were really good game changers. They changed the game. And none of them worked 10 to 15 hours a day. It's always 20 plus hours. None of them. They always work 20 plus hours. They give 100% of their effort, energy to these things. And I'm working on that
Right.
100%. I'm getting better. I'm getting better. But if we're going to speak the truth in the episode, that's the truth, bro. The worst challenge, and that's not a motivational talk. The worst challenge is us. It's you. It's you. It's always you. It's always you. If you came to me right now and you told me, Yusuf, you look ugly, and I felt bad, it's not Abdurrahman. It's me who gave Abdurrahman the space to do this.
Mm.
It's me. So I think my challenge is myself. Because I'm crazy. Some people they say, "Oh, that's gonna be a real success person." Others they're like, "Oh, you're a role model," because they're kids. But I don't think anyone would really be me or would want to be me if they understand who I am and how I think. It's very challenging. It's very challenging. It's a battle that you don't know who's winning, who's losing.
Mm.
You're gonna feel bad if if I win. I'll feel even bad if I lost. I'm fighting myself, so I don't know who to support, and it gets crazy most of the time. And I don't think it's easy. to deal with yourself. It's very hard, very, very hard.
Now I can only imagine and understand why you're a big, big promoter and activist of emotional intelligence, where you keep on speaking about self management, self regulation, self awareness generally. And thank you. Thank you for the transparency. I guess I hope this could be a calling for anyone else watching us today. It's fine to understand that you're the issue, if not every time,
Well,
because you're the one exuding out the energy. You're the one exuding out the actions. So if Yusuf doing whatever it is that he's doing today and trying to build everything he's trying to build today with this mission and vision, facing issues, maybe that could be an understanding or a idea that you're not alone to whoever you are and whatever it is that you plan to do and build. Um, it's a journey, and this is one person, ladies and gentlemen, who is trying to figure it out, who has figured things out, and is yet to figure a lot more out too.
never. I didn't forget figure out anything. I'm still lost.
Good.
I
I
swear,
love the humility, man. I love the humility.
a
Yeah,
crazy
but
young
then,
kid.
um, to be very honest, I'm very, very happy to have you on board. That was a very, very interesting conversation, at least for myself. I believe it reminded me of a lot of things that I tend to forget. And most importantly, as well, I want to thank you for your transparency. And I can genuinely say how authentic this conversation was, Yusuf. I truly wish you all the best, man. And as always, you've got a brother. Yeah, far away in Asia, though, but I'm always here.
But I want to learn
Besides that,
PlayStation though.
I
I
can.
have to.
I just need to find the time though. Besides that, thank you for giving us so much of your time. I want to give you the last closing sentence or statement. If you would like to share anything else with people for a minute, um, and we'll wrap it up there. So once again, thank you so much.
Thank you, bro. Thank you. Thank you. Very happy of what you did. I'm very happy of where you reached as well. You've always inspired me. Maybe I didn't tell you this before, but you do, bro. You
Thank you.
inspired me a lot.
Thank
And
you.
if there's one thing that I want to tell people, fail big, fail, 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 mess it up, make mistakes. Please do make mistakes. Please fail. Please do stupid decisions. But most importantly, reflect back. So fail big, make mistakes, and reflect. This is what I want to say.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was Youssef Shalakamy.